starter threw 85 pitches, allowed 7 total hits and just 4 runs to come across and score, all of which were earned, which matched his strikeout total of 4. And pitching coach Pete Horner opts to bring in the inspirational story of Gavin Nailou. The sophomore at Stanford University did not appear in his first 2 seasons with the squad, but number 5 is just such an awesome story. He developed a tumor in his throwing arm and has completely redeveloped his arsenal, as he was a guy who back in high school recorded fastballs above 90 miles an hour. He's no longer able to reach that speed. He has a very unconventional arsenal that he's been able to make work for him with plenty of breaking balls and slow movers that have provided a weird change of pace that have just about worked for Nailou, who sports a sinker, slider, changeup trio on the mound. And we'll look to follow up Gage Yost with a good inning here against the bottom of the order, with Agabides up and Rumsey on deck before the top comes back up with key player Dustin Crenshaw. As Agabides going to send one over into foul territory. Riccio over by the fence. He'll hop up, but never quite had a play on it, as that one winds up about 20 feet out of reach of the frame of Ryan Riccio. He's got a good wingspan, but not good enough to get to that one. It actually winds up on the back half of the party patio and will provide as a nice gift for someone to get a green stamped Northwoods League branded baseball. As now it will be a sinker tried from Nailou that's sent up to the second baseman, Nick Pepe, as the Hot Dots defense stays perfect now through 6 1/3 innings, as it's a grab from Pepe on one that was up and then eventually down into his glove for the first out to get things going, as number 3 has now been a part of 2 of 3 Agabides at-bats, both of which have been to lead off an inning, as the third baseman was put away leading off the top of inning number 5 in 4-3 fashion, and now Pepe does it himself, getting under it to help Nailou for his first out, who now will go up 0-1 against the center fielder Ty Rumsey, who saw Gage Yost well early. He had that double, but now the off-speed completely fools him. Nice pitch from Nailou. As Rumsey was guessing sinker, he got the slider, presumably. He was well early on that one from Nailou. That now puts all the cards in the reliever's hand, who will miss it eye level on a decision that wasn't too tough from the plate for Rumsey. Who will swing and miss on one. That's strike number 3. Spun him like a top, did Gavin Nailou, who's come in and brought his best stuff. Number 5 looks to be commanding well early, forcing a swing and a miss from Ty Rumsey. And Dustin Crenshaw back up to the dish, who is 0 for 3 today, with a looking strikeout back in the first and 2 groundouts to Ian Halverson, who's been a busy guy when the left fielder's been up to the plate. As the Moondogs look to avoid having a 4-3 up, 3 down inning from the plate, the orange and black have been extremely streaky today, as they've got the same amount of hits as the Tots with 7, but 3 less runs to show for it, and that comes with the fact that their runs have come in streaks, as 2 came across in the top of the second and then alone in the third and 6th. Now have them down 3 with Dustin Crenshaw, the left fielder, in a 1-1 count with 2 gone from Corbett Field. It's a mover. Crenshaw sends it down the line. Nice sliding effort from Tristan Moore. It will be a 3 up, 3 down inning, as Nailou taps the back of Moore and Pepe. He got some help in the field, did one himself on a swinging strikeout, and Nailou comes in, and Gavin Nailou gets the nod for a second inning after forcing the 3 up, 3 down in the top of 7. And they'll now have Kip Fugers, the second baseman, to start off his second inning of work. Fugers is 2 for 3 today with singles in each of his last 2 at-bats. We'll watch the first 2 pitches from Nalu. Kip entered the day with a .326 batting average to go with 14 walks, which is good for a .422 on-base percentage and an OPS of .968. So the first baseman simply gets on at will, and will look to try to get something going here for a great part of a Moondogs order that needs to tally 3 runs in 6 outs. And maybe getting a little help from behind the dish there was pitcher Gavin Nalu, as another nice frame from Carson Evans steals a strike away. The count now evened at 2s on a pitch that will miss over the head and never quite break all the way into the zone, as that pitch stayed at the top of the clock. We'll quickly have a payoff pitch from Nalu to Fugers. Payoff pitch delivery swung on out into right. That ball looks to stay right of the foul stripe and does. So ultimately, just a long strike from Kip Fugers, who keeps the count where it's at. As Nalu set up all the way to the left side of that mound. Working from the inside of Fugers, he forces the wave and a miss. Make it back-to-back strikeouts now for Gavin Nalu, who's got 2 on the outing since entering the game 1 1/3 inning ago. That one was able to force a big swing from Fugers. And now get the Moondogs down to their final 5 outs with Brendan Horde up to bat. The second-year Mankato Moondog is no stranger to a big situation. We'll have to get the bat going here against Nalu, who has yet to let anyone get on base. The command from Nalu clearly still there. The changeup perfectly scrapes the black. It's an edger from number 5, who gets it called strike 1. The Stanford sophomore is just painting the edges and corners thus far. He's a former number 4 overall left-handed pitcher in the great state of California, but there the lefty is going to give up an extra base hit as Drew Woodcocks has to stay busy out in left field. The former pitcher himself delivers a nice throw into Nick Pepe, but not before Brendan Horde is in on second base in plenty of time. For Mankato's 8th hit of the day, that's now 1 more than the Hot Tots, but they've got 3 runs to show for it, likely because of their 5 tallied errors. Now there's a runner in scoring position for the cleanup guy, Ryan Nicholson. Had a single in his last at-bat. This is his first go-around, however, with Gavin Nalu as versus Yost. The first baseman was 1 for 3. Making contact in each of his at-bats. He's still yet to be put down on strikes. As quickly, with 2 strikes against him, however, is Nicholson, with Nalu continuing to look solid from the bump. The 0-2 from Nalu almost forces a bite from Nicholson, who opts not to go golfing and instead will push the tee time back at least 1 more pitch, with a 1-2 now inbound. It's swung on, sent up the middle. Ian Halverson able to make a quick run over and make the 6-3 play for out number 2. As the Hot Tots doing a good job tonight of taking the simple play. Halverson doesn't even think to look over to the runner. He was already over at third base, was Brendan Horde. who's now 90 feet from cutting into the Hot Tots lead, but that doesn't happen before the shortstop stays perfect on the day and delivers a nice throw to the outstretched glove of Tristan Moore for out number 2 of the top of the 8th. The Moondogs only have 4 more of those to give. Now it's Kai Roberts, the right fielder, who himself is going to have to battle back again as Nalu continues to get ahead of batters in these nail-bite situations. It's now 0-2 in favor of the left-handed arm, Gavin Nalu. Move 1-2 as that one able to get through the legs of Carson Evans, but it somehow stays in front of number 26, which is big in a situation with a runner on third. So it forces Horde to hold up over there. The catcher has yet to try to steal a base heading into today, but he did have the lone stolen base for the Moondogs today. So maybe he's got a little bit of confidence now on the base path after nabbing second earlier on the outing. It's a 2-2, now 3-2 as Nalu misses on 3 in a row and will be forced to deal a full count pitch where he truly can't afford to walk Kai Roberts, which would bring the tying run at the plate in Ari Armis, who's already got a home run on the day. It's a big pitch from number 5 that swung on down the line and sent foul as the rubber match stays intense, with Nalu now doubling his pitches from the 7th. As an inning he entered 10 pitches with, now totals 30. For number 5. Let's try the payoff pitch again. Nalu opts to go changeup. It's going to be sent up the middle. That's an RBI single off of the middle of the barrel of Kai Roberts, who picks up his first RBI of the day, and it couldn't have come in a bigger time. The tying run is now at the dish in Ari Armis. It's a big RBI single from the right fielder, who was just able to hit to the gap there and get his way on to first. That will mark the end of Gavin Nalu's campaign, as Pete Horner doesn't have to think twice. Right when he sees the damage come across, he signals to the bullpen for a switch. Nalu, after looking really good in his first inning of work, allowed that double of Brendan Horde, who now comes around to score on the single of Kai Roberts. And it'll be interesting to see who the Hot Tots opt to bring in this situation.